Drum roll, please. Did we promote? The answer is welcome back to the 3-Star Academy. We find ourselves here on day 7, the final day of CWL. As you can see, we did have a loss. There were several failures, and we will jump straight into the attacks with base number 1 being hit by Nero. He is using Hydra. Not a very long replay, so that is a good indicator. We have the backpack coming across, arrow coming through. I would imagine the army is going to be dumped in between 9 and 6. We will see if that is the strategy he took. Yeah, with only a minute and a half or so remaining on this replay, it is definitely a good sign on how smashed this was. Really delayed on the dumping of the main army there. I think he just wanted to make sure that the funnel was set so that the isolated town hall there in the center, there was no risk of that getting left until the end, and then the unlikely event that it would be the dreaded 1-star. So fairly smart execution there, just to make sure that there was going to be no doubt that the army would find its way in the middle. You can see that the Minion Prince is really the only troop that found its way there to attack the town hall. So fairly wise decision to make sure that the funnel was set as much as it was, because he did not get that push into the center. The army has swung around the outside. There was no worry because the Minion Prince did take it upon himself to knock out the town hall. So GG's Nero. Very patient opening, I will say. So we'll move on to the next attack here shortly. Moving on to attack number 2. This is hit by Monster on his ult count. He is also using Hydra. We have the backpack coming across, knocking out at least 1 air defense, and I think he got 2. Second one comes in. He misses the sweeper, but does get the backside air defense. This is a relatively tight little funnel here, so going right at the town hall. We have quite a bit of damage there. I would like to keep that logger distracted. He does drop the totem, and the logs are going the other way. CC is lured. We're going to have no risk of the town hall going down, which is always a nice thing to see. And then the queen has done a really good job in clearing the path on that right side. Left side has a little bit to be desired, but maybe that was the way that he wanted the army to go, which has come in nicely. We have the Dragon Duke being revived early on. First overgrowth comes down on that rage compartment for the fire spitter over there. Not exactly sure how much value got used, or we were able to recognize from the first overgrowth. Second overgrowth came for the monolith and the multi-arch tower, as well as the revenge tower. So those got some high damage buildings out of hitting his army, which is good. Pathing is looking all right, and so all things considered, this was really well done. Again, I think the overgrowth on that first one was a little bit early, but the second one was able to get a lot of value in those high damage buildings. So GG Monster. We'll move on to the next attack here shortly. Moving on to attack number 3. No, attack number 3 was a fail, so we're going to move on to base 4 with Speedy doing his signature strategy for this month's CWL and Rocket Balloon Super Minions. We have the Warden opener. Let's see what his target is for the fireball. I wonder if he's going to try to get that fire spitter. That would be nice. From somebody who doesn't really utilize this strategy, that would be an interesting one to go for. He is, got it. So both fire spitters go down, the invis tower goes down. That was a lot of value for me as a Hydra player and getting both fire spitters out of the way. So GG's there. We'll see what the rocket backpack and giant arrow now targets. That rage compartment there with the revenge tower is looking pretty juicy from my side. I think it could be lined up pretty well as well. We'll see what he chooses to do here, but Town Hall is down. Warden is working on the monolith, so done a really nice job so far in clearing out that 12 o'clock area. He recalls and redrops the Warden in just a slightly different area there. He did go for the Revenge Tower, and I'm not exactly sure what else he got, but yeah, I'm not exactly sure what the other buildings were that he was able to get. If it was me, I would have gone and dropped like the rocket backpack at 2 and swung across to 8 o'clock or so to try and get the majority of that rage section. He might have not chose to do that because then it would have been a little bit awkward from a funnel and pathing perspective. So I will defer to Hustler's expertise with this strategy, but having watched several of them over the course of this CWL, that was the juicy target from my side. This is really smashed. One of the cleaner attacks. I mean, with the Town Hall going down early, the Fireball getting what it did, I was not concerned at all as a spectator on this one. So GG's, Hustler. We'll move on to the next attack, base 5. We have me attacking. I think that this is one of the sketchiest attacks that I had this entire month. Not exactly sure what exactly went wrong. It's not like it was at risk of failure. When we get to the end, you'll see that there was quite a bit of life on the Duke. I can't remember what the spell swag situation was, but not the prettiest or the cleanest attack from myself here to close out this month's CWL. You saw the backpack come across, the giant arrow come through as well. We have the main army dumped in between 12 and 3. Early Warden ability because of that rage compartment there. We have a totem for the logger to make sure that it does not burn through my entire army. Rage is dropped as well on my side, and I think that this might have been the cause. You see a pretty severe split with the dragons, some going toward the top half, others going toward the bottom. The Overgrowth came in for that backside fire spitter, and I was able to position it in a way where we got the majority of the damage but not the spell tower itself. So you'll see that the rage tower was activated, but it really wasn't able to do a whole lot to my army, which is always a nice thing to do. If you can position your Overgrowth to where you get rid of the damage but don't have to worry about the rage tower then being active for when your army does get to it, that is really the way to go. So you can see that the Duke was really taking a lot of damage from that monolith. The tornado comes off, and so I am going to have to use both revives here. And at this point, there's not a whole lot left of the main army. We're going to be relying on the Duke to clear out a lot of this. Now, I do have some cleanup troops, but they're not going to be able to do a whole lot with the amount of damage that is left over there. So, again, it was a little bit rough. Not my most sparkling moment of the CWL, but a 3-star is a 3-star. We'll move on then to the next attack. Base 6 with Monster on his main attacking. This replay is relatively short, just over a minute and 45, so that is an indicator that this was pretty crushed. Backpack came through from that 2 to 8 o'clock ish area, then the Queen came down at that 4 to 5. Main army coming down right next to the Queen. Very similar concept to what we saw in his ult, and this time I would say that the Dragon Duke did a whole lot better of setting the edge there on the left side than the queen. Although now looking at it, the queen has gotten the value that was needed on her side. So really nice job in executing there, and it really just carved the path for the army to not have any of those funky AI mishaps that you kind of dread when you don't set the right funnel. First overgrowth is wearing off now for that backside rage compartment. Probably is going to re-overgrowth it. Yep, there it does come down. The rage tower did activate, so he will not have to worry about that. And this is GG's at this point. Really well executed monster. So good job. We'll move on to the next attack here shortly. Base number 7, we did have the dreaded 1-star, so we're going to go through that and get away from that really quickly. Moving on to base number 8, attacked by Burr. We have Hydra, and Duke is set at 3. We have him coming across with the backpack. It did look like a blower as well, so cleared out quite a bit of those buildings over there around 3 o'clock. We have the giant arrow coming across. Not exactly sure what the target was there. I do see 3 air defenses that remain up. So not your typical targets from a backpack giant arrow perspective. We have the main army coming in between 3 and 6. It was a pretty wide area that the main army had to come into and start clearing out buildings. And because of that, I probably would have delayed the Dragon Riders a little bit, because there is the risk of them getting way ahead of the dragons, and then that can leave the Warden in an unfortunate scenario, right? And that can cause a lot of splits. And then your Dragon Riders are out there on an island. They're going to go down fairly quickly in high damage areas. So maybe would clean that up a little bit. And when I'm looking right now, I don't see a whole lot of the main army that remains, and I think that was due to the fact of what I highlighted, in that the dragons were stuck cleaning all of those kind of trash buildings over there in between 3 and 6, which then the Dragon Riders got way ahead, and now you can see we're relying on the air wagons, barrels. We're going to be relying on the Dragon Duke, and that is, I'm sure, how he got through the rest of this base. The Minion Prince is still up, so that is helpful. And overall, looking back, yeah, I would do a better job at setting that funnel for your main army. But we'll move on to the next attack, which is base 9, hit by Ayush. He is also using Hydra. All right, so we have the Dragon Duke coming at 12 o'clock, Archer Queen at 6 o'clock. We'll see what he is able to get down. Okay, so there is the rest of the earthquakes being dropped. That is quite a smashed little core section that he was able to get value from that combo. So fairly nice opening. We see the Duke and the Queen both going off to the right side. So I would imagine that the main army is going to be dropped in between 9 and 6. Here come the dragons. You can see that he did drop the dragons. There was a slight delay for the Dragon Riders to come in. So that is what I was talking about on the previous attack. I maybe would have held off maybe a second longer for the Dragon Riders there, just to further protect around them getting too far ahead of the dragons. But that was exactly the type of thing that I was talking about on the previous attack. So GG's there, Ayush. And 48 seconds or so to remain. Main army is approaching the town hall now. We did have the overgrowth come down for the multi-Inferno towers, which are also fairly dangerous for Hydra. We have a totem to distract that backside air defense. Revive the Duke, I believe, over there around 3 o'clock. He's going to clear up all those trash buildings. And this is Fairly smashed, so GG's Ayush. We'll move on to the next attack here shortly. Base number 10. We have Hustler. And he is bringing that super minions, rocket balloons, fireball, giant arrow, rocket backpack combo that we have come to know and love from him. We'll see what the fireball target is. He's done a fairly quick job in getting rid of all of those trash buildings over there at 3 o'clock. I would want to get that rage tower compartment, but the warden has other plans, it looks like. He is heading to the north. So I don't know if he's going to adjust his fireball target. I would have imagined he wanted to get something from that rage section, and you can see that he dropped the minions to pull the warden back in that direction. So that was a fairly simple and easy adjustment that he could make in order to get his warden back to where he wanted to go. Goes right for the scatter shot, gets the revenge tower. So great job, Hustler, in redirecting your warden to where I knew you wanted to get that fireball value. Does recall. It's going to put the warden over safe in between 12 and 3, and now we are looking for rocket backpack giant arrow. He's going straight from 12 to 6 and 6 to 12. He did knock out the clan castle with that, and that's all I'm seeing off the top of my head. I don't know exactly how much more value he got from that, but you can see that we are approaching the point in time in this attack that the whole right side of the base is completely smashed. So that was really good value and well executed fireball. And then giant arrow rocket backpack, I would say, was not an extreme level of value, but well executed nonetheless. He has now cleared out all of the important parts of the base. You do have one fire spitter left, which is going in the direction of your warden, but the giant goes down. Dragon Duke will get to it eventually, I'm sure. He has not deployed the Royal Champion, so we will see if she makes her way into this attack at all. Fire Spitter is still not going down. Warden is surviving with his healers. Nope. He goes ahead and drops the RC there at the end. It could have been a time issue. Not exactly sure, but GG's Hustler. Great job on that fireball. Moving on to base number 11, we have Blessing. We have an Invis core and an Invis town hall area. So double Invis. Base number 11 is trying to draw out the dreaded 1-star by whatever means necessary. It is not successful. We know that Blessing was able to secure the 3-star with this Hydra attack. We are utilizing all of the scout time, and it is another backpack blower combo. Did clear out quite a few buildings there over in between 9 and 12. And not exactly sure what he was able to get out of the core. It does look like the Invis tower is getting repaired by the battle builder, and the revenge tower is still up. Main army was dropped right around that 1 o'clock directly at the town hall. You can see that there was a fairly nice natural funnel with this base design that allowed him to just go ahead and army dump right there. So town hall is going to go down fairly quickly. We have an extra earthquake, it looked like, for that revenge tower come through. Rage to get through that core, and overgrowth for the backside fire spitter. This is fairly well executed. Again, I'm not exactly sure how much value the blower backpack combo got as part of that opening, but the funnel was nicely set just from an entry and execution standpoint. So GG's Blessing. We'll move on to the next attack here shortly as I speed through the rest of this. Moving on to base 13. 12, we did have a fail. It is Jordan using Hydra. Just over 2 minutes in this replay. So Queen comes down, clearing out some trash before hitting the giant arrow. I believe 2 air defenses did go down. We have a baby drag and the Dragon Duke. So that is going to be setting that whole area between 12 and 3 for the main army to come through. This is that alternative strategy where you can put the Dragon Duke and the Queen next to each other, basically clear out one side so that the main army can clear the rest of the side. It is not my preferred method because it can lead to serious pathing issues, as I've said previously, I think on day 6 or day 5. But Dragon Duke is down, Warden ability comes through, that new temporary defense is distracted by a totem. I think it might be switching to the hero. No, it did go down. Minion Prince for Super Wizard Tower, and he was able to get that Fire Spitter as well. Dragon Duke is down. Minion Prince is going to be going down shortly. We do have a fair bit of the main army there with the Warden approaching 9 o'clock, so that is going to allow him to push through the remainder of this base pretty safely. Did use the second revive on the Dragon Duke. Not necessarily the cleanest attack from this war, but at the same time, there was no risk of failing. So GG's Jordan. We'll speed through the rest of this and move on to the next attack here shortly. All right, base number 14 is attacked by Godslayer. He's coming through with a Dragon Rider Inferno Dragon attack. Before the new level of the dragons came out, this was the preferred quote-unquote Hydra attack. So I know the majority of our clan is very familiar with this army comp, and we'll see how Godslayer chooses to attack this specific base. Drops the Duke right around 12 o'clock, going to clear out the majority of that area with his Dragon Duke charge. So we'll see how much value this charge gets. I believe the Spirit Fox is still up. I can't see the health of that Spirit Fox. We have one more invis to invest. That was a well-placed invis right there as the last one. Okay, it did activate the Rage Tower, so cleared out the majority of that 12 o'clock area. We have the Royal Champion come through with the Seeking Shield, attacking that Ricochet Cannon. Revenge Tower is charged up 1 level. Main army is going right at the Monolith area. Totem comes for the Minion Prince, the Revenge Tower, as well as the Monolith. Not necessarily too happy with the funnel that was set here in between 9 and 6, but it looks like that Inferno Dragon is going to be able to set the edge for him. So that is an extreme amount of value if that Inferno Drag is able to keep his army where it needs to go, which it does look that way. So very, very nicely done. Once the dust is settled, it didn't look like it was going to be very well set when he initially did the army dump, but it did clear out, and this is looking really smashed. So we have 2 more freezes to get through that backside air defense and scatter shot. No concerns on my end. He does freeze the Super Wizard Tower. Dragon Duke is going to be able to take care of the rest of this with the amount of troops that are left. So GG's Godslayer will move on to the next attack here shortly. Moving on to the final attack of this month's CWL, we have Lunar attacking base number 15 with Hydra. Alright, so under 2 minutes. We have the backpack coming across from 3 to 9. Giant arrow coming through from the queen around 6 o'clock. I was able to get through the CC as well as some other buildings, so I do like the pathing that has been set up. I would imagine the main army is going to be coming in between 9 and 6. No, it is coming in between 9 and 12, so a little bit of a fake out from my side. We will need to distract that logger. That was not the best place totem. We have the logs continuing to go straight for the army. You can see that the dragons are now kind of going off toward 12 o'clock, and that was because there was no hard edge for them over there. So the town hall does go down. Logger is still wreaking havoc. We do have the warden ability coming through. The logger is still up, so a little bit of an interesting path that he took, but we do know that it did become successful there at the end. I believe that was the minion prince ability for the monolith right there, but I would have preferred to probably put the army in between 9 and 6. That was how you naturally had set the funnel with the Dragon Duke as well as the Queen, and I think that you would have gotten a little bit better of a push from your main army. It would have stayed together, I think, a little bit more nicely. But overall, GG's Lunar. And without any further ado, we'll see the result of this month's CWL. Drum roll, please. Did we promote? The answer is yes, we did. Welcome to Titan 3. Thanks for watching.